A couple weeks ago, we started with a series on becoming a man of excellence. Becoming a man of excellence. This is the third week doing the series, and it's been interesting. I think I should have renamed it or called it really, Become a Man of Excellence as you're really faltering and failing and having lots of problems in life. Because so far we've looked at Adam, and he had problems. We looked at Noah, and yes, he followed God, was blameless and righteous, but yet he had his own issues. And today we're looking at Job, and Job has his own issues. Well, with that, the story of Job, really, it's way too much for me to try to bite off in about a half hour. If you've ever read the book of Job, it's 40-plus chapters. It is a hard book to understand. So I'm going to try to present it in a way that hopefully for all of us is understandable, but with the knowledge, I'm not doing the book justice. I know that. To do it in a half hour just does not do it justice. So I encourage you, every week, I think you've heard me, every week I say, go home and read this, go home and read this. Well, this week, go home and read the book of Job. And if you have a study Bible, use it, because it is a tough one to understand. Well, part of Job talks about the idea of Satan says skin for skin. And I want to just have you think about this skin for skin idea, because it's sort of a theme that goes through Job. As I said last night, I ended up getting a phone call about 6 o'clock from a first sergeant on the Marine side, the Marine Reserves. There's about 280 Marines that are at Battle Creek, Fort Custer area. It's 3/4 of the Marine Bridge Company from around the nation are there right now doing training. And I got the phone call that I was asked to come out because the 22-year-old had lost his stepdad. I'm driving out there and I'm saying, God, give me wisdom. May I be there for the young man to whatever you want me to do. God, it's got to be your session, half-hour time, talking with the person, not me. Can't be me, it's got to be yours, God. But as I'm on the way out there, it struck me that though I have compassion for the young man, I have empathy for the young man, I can in some respects understand what he's going through. I can't totally. Can't totally. Haven't been there. Haven't done that. It doesn't affect personally. Though it does, follow me with that, but it's not skin for skin. We're going to get into that a little bit so that you understand a little more. But think about in the last 2 weeks what has happened. We've had, in Moore, Oklahoma, 2 weeks ago. If you can see this picture, it shows part of Moore, Oklahoma, and it's a Google picture, a housing area. All the houses look really nice. They look wonderful. Like any of the housing areas in this area. Well, after the tornado came through, you can see in this section, a little hard maybe to see, but all the houses are just demolished. They're gone. Well, another picture about Moore. What you see here is, I believe it's a school, and all the housing area around, everything looks perfect. All gone. All gone, except if you notice up here, the houses are still intact. A little hard to see, but the houses are intact, but the school is gone. All these houses are gone. Houses down here are still intact. One more. Just how the houses are all in the area. All these are demolished. All of these. How does it, look at that. It's sort of a angle there, a right angle, and it goes right around there, and it demolishes those houses. But it doesn't demolish those. What I'm getting at with that is last week we took a special offering, and I regretfully forgot to announce that we were doing the special offering. It was in the bulletin for 2 weeks, but we did a special offering for Moore, Oklahoma. We have a Reformed church down in that area, Oklahoma City, and we're going to send the money down to that church because they're doing work in that area. Well, we all hear about these incidences, these catastrophes, and we can feel for them, but unless we actually are walking through it and we're the ones who lose our house, it doesn't quite affect us the same, does it? It was about almost 20 years ago in South Dakota, a small town of only 70 people in South Dakota. Once a year, they would do a fish outing. And this summer, or this Saturday in the town, was their Saturday that they went out to go fishing at a local park a few miles away. A small tornado hit that town, demolished almost every single house of all the 70 people that lived there. And I was able to go see it a couple days later. The National Guard took over and who came in and out, and it was all controlled. And they let me go into it, and I'm looking right at these houses. You know, it's amazing. The destruction, but it wasn't my house. You follow me with that? And we can have the empathy and we can feel with each other, but until it comes down to who you are to affecting who I am, there's a little bit of difference there. Well, what we see here with Job is Job needing to learn to trust God's sovereignty. Job needing to learn to trust God's sovereignty. Okay. I need to find the book of Job. This is bad. Okay, Old Testament. Pardon? Before Psalms. Who's held where? Mary? Thank you, Mary. I'm looking at my little fingernail things in here. Oh, man, this is so embarrassing. Any of you ever have that problem? You can't find what you're looking for? No, none of you. Thank you all very much for this, for the empathy with the pastor right now. You know, thank you. Oh, it doesn't affect you personally? It does because I'm keeping you longer. Okay, Job. Okay, Job chapter 1. I didn't put these up here on the screen. Just listen to the story of Job. Listen to the story. In the land of Oz, there lived a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless, upright, feared God, and shunned evil. Remember last week Noah? Noah was blameless. He was righteous, and he walked with God. Job's doing the same thing. He feared God, and he shunned evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 donkeys, and had a large number of servants. He was the greatest man among all the people of the East. It's thought that Job probably was not a Jewish or Hebrew person. It's thought he might have been somebody else. His sons used to take turns holding feast in their homes, and they would invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. And when the period of feasting had run its course, Job would send and have them purified. Early in the morning, he would sacrifice a burnt offering for each of them, thinking, perhaps my children have sinned against God and cursed God in their hearts. And this was Job's regular custom. Then one day, the angels, some passages say the sons of God, came to present themselves before the Lord God. And Satan also came to present himself before God. And the Lord God said to Satan, where have you come from? Well, God knew already where he came from. But Satan answered, from roaming the earth, going back and forth. And the Lord said to Satan, have you ever considered my servant Job? There's no one on earth like him, blameless, upright, one who fears God and shuns evil. Satan replied, does God, I could hear it sort of in a snarly voice, you know, like a little serpent, little hissy voice. Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not put a hedge of protection around him and his household and everything he has? You have blessed the work of his hands so that his flocks and his herds are spread throughout the land. But stretch out your hand, strike everything that he has, and he will surely curse you. And the Lord said to Satan, very well. Then everything that he has is in your hands, but do not lay a finger on him. If we read on, we would see the fact of what really takes place for Job, because there's a storm. Well, there's some people that come and they steal the sheep, they steal the donkeys, they steal the